Aloha mai kako, a como by curtain call from a distance, a program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown, and I'm coming to you from my home office, where I have been conscientiously practicing self-isolation. The pandemic is raging. Our democracy is under attack by our former chief executive officer. These are difficult days. 2020 is a year like we haven't had, perhaps, ever. In view of these unfortunate events, artists, especially the theaters, have experienced major traumas. Broadway is closed indefinitely. We cannot sit next to each other in closed areas for who knows how long. In view of this, our theaters, Maui Academy of Performing Arts in collaboration with Maui OnStage, and ProArts, are producing content to take us through these troubled times. MAPA kicked off a new initiative, Uncommon Stages, New Theater for a New World. Their premiere is Jason Robert Brown's 1995 musical revue, Songs for a New World. Many times, what is new is old again. Here is a live stream event that will remind those of a certain age of the golden age of television before videotape. Everything was live. This is truly a complex undertaking for a host of reasons. First of all, we are in a pandemic. How do we socially distance when it is necessary to be face to face and finger to finger? Enter, please, pardon the analogy, but he was on death's door last year, the resurrected David Johnston, whose vision has always been among the most innovative and adventurous among any directors. The problem, how to create intimacy while social distancing, how to perform safely without masks, how to move while protected around the stage, and what material will provide clarity while allowing for the actors to be lit without reflection on the surface of the material. Mr. Johnston, like Saul LeWitt, the great creator of conceptual art, needed someone to realize his vision. Thankfully, we have Carol Walker, Maui's answer to Santo Laquasto, who, along with her general factotum, Daniel Vickers, came up with the idea to use lightweight, framed, poured plexiglass, and then figured out how to make them mobile and self-standing. It's an absolutely brilliant concept from Mr. Johnston, fully and beautifully realized by Ms. Walker's design, along with fabrication assistance from Mr. Vickers. These wheeled portable shields with transparent plexiglass work perfectly, not in small part due to the remarkable lighting design by Ricky Jones. How Mr. Jones was able to light the actors without any distracting reflection is like trying to figure out how Harry Houdini escaped from the milk can filled with water. Suffice to say, the lighting is one of the many highlights, pun intended, of this wonderful show. We are blessed with so many fabulous, fantastic female singers, so I don't envy Mr. Johnston, who was more than ably assisted by Hoku Pavao in trying to select among the bevy of Maui women vocalists. But I don't think they could have done better than the choices they made. Liana Locke and Danielle Delaunay, playing Woman 1 and 2, respectively. For the men, I've said it before and I will say it again, Dylan Bodhi could have been a multi-Tony Award winner by now had he chosen to go to New York City instead of Minnesota. He is not only a great singer, but a terrific actor as well. For Man 2, Mr. Johnston selected Kepa Cabanillo Arcaios. However, he is unfortunately experiencing throat issues and had to withdraw. What a conundrum. Where is there another tenor? Interesting, Mr. Brown wrote this work in 4 parts for 2 voices, soprano and tenor. Luckily, Calvin Orlando Smith, who some may remember in MAPA's marvelous production of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, about whom I said, quote, Mr. Smith is a surprise for Maui audiences. He was brought in from Oregon and has done Broadway, regional theater, national tours, and has had his equity card since he was a teenager. He has a strong presence, great singer, and his kiss with Esmeralda in the tavern scene was one of the most intense and longest kisses in the history of theater. His duet with Ms. Delaunay on Some Day in the second act was another showstopper. Thankfully, Mr. Smith was available and agreed to do the show. Pulling off a major miracle after quarantining, he joined rehearsals on October 21st, a little more than 2 weeks prior to opening night. And you would never know it. He is such a pro. All of these actors individually sing at the highest level possible, but their ensemble singing is what sends the roof of the theater out somewhere into the exosphere. The blend of their voices, the complexity of the music, coupled with intriguing, complicated poetry, all conspire to create the magic that only live theater can. Vanya Jerome, our finest musical director, gets the credit for how good the music is. Her musical ensemble is the creme de la creme of Maui musicians, the always reliable Beth Phoebe Wills on keyboard, two, the inimitable Marcus Johnson on bass, and the extraordinary percussionist Peter Della Croce. The show is not a traditional musical with a clear plot and defined characters who take us on a personal journey to some form of transformation. It is like 16 individual scenes where the actors sing the scene. What each of the scenes and songs have in common is humans confronting their pasts, current situations, and futures. One of the few phrases that reoccurs throughout the show is a new world. It is the possibility of change, of discarding the present for a new tomorrow. The show spans time from the decks of a Spanish galleon in the 15th century, which inexplicably seems to have women on board, to today and all over the place in time, class, and fantasy. Among the highlights are Ms. Locke's heavenly, literally, rendition of Christmas Lullaby, about a pregnant woman who looks to her faith and the Blessed Virgin Mary to see her through and give her soon to be newborn a bright future. No one can pull at your heartstrings like Ms. Locke. I have a hard time knowing what she looks like through the visual haze caused by the tears her voice invariably elicits. Also, her opening and closing with A New World served to excite us about what we were about to see and hear, and to put a cap on the anticlimax because we know this is not the end of the story, only the end of the evening. Ms. Delaunay turned in three showstoppers. Just One More Step is about a distraught, wealthy woman threatening to step off the ledge of her Park Avenue 57th floor penthouse. Ms. Delaunay mixes the perfect blend of hysteria with sad desperation of her situation. As she shouts at her husband Murray, she knows all about the other woman. She follows that up with another privileged woman in Stars and the Moon, who marries well, but finds out although she got the stars, it concludes, and I thought, okay. And I took a breath and I got my yacht, and the years went by and it never changed and it never grew and I never dreamed. And I woke one day and I looked around and I thought, my God, I'll never have the moon, unquote. In the second act, Ms. Delaunay is Mrs. Claus. Yes, that Mrs. Claus. Again, she feels abandoned and is threatening not suicide, but to leave dear Santa behind. This song is called Surabaya Santa and has a generous bow to Kurt Weill in the tune and style. You can almost hear Lotte Lenya doing it. Ms. Delaunay is a star in every way possible, available, accurate, exciting, entrancing, and exceptional. Mr. Smith's best moment is his duet with Ms. Locke in the second act, I'd Give It All for You, where a long separated couple rejoice in reuniting and reminiscing about their adventures when they parted. But finally, they realize that all of that was nice, but being with each other is worth more than any of the previous adventures. Finally, we come to Mr. Bodhi, who celebrated a 20-something birthday on opening night and, in a reversal of tradition, gave us gifts of his remarkable vocal and acting talents. His best number came as a dead Revolutionary War soldier who was flying home to heaven to a funky R&B tune that I can say without hesitation, he killed. I honestly felt his last call, home, should have been the end of the show. I felt the finale, Hear My Song, was anticlimactic after Mr. Bodhi's transcendently amazing finish. I have to say something about the audio and video work of Fuzzbox Productions. The microphones were invisible, and the direction of the camera images by Marcus Kunzel deserved top billing. His choices were impeccable, and the camera work by Trevor Arnault, Stephen Sullivan, and Ben Yashon, along with audio engineer Harrison Tatique and Audio 2 Thomas Fortier, raised the level of the production to the highest professional standards. Kathleen Schultz did the costumes, and she always does work that brings out the best in the actors. I particularly loved her velvet suit for Ms. Delaunay. In the new normal, our arts organizations have had to figure out ways to deliver a quality product at a distance. With this production, MAPA gives notice Mr. Johnston is back, and so is MAPA. Hooray. I am told they will be announcing an on demand site for this show. I would encourage everyone watching to monitor www.mauiacademy.org to find out when that is. It's a great hour and 45 minutes with intermission, not to be missed. I look forward to their next installment in this eminently bankable series, Uncommon Stages, New Theater for a New World. Well, that's Curtain Call from a Distance for this week. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Paul James Brown. Ahui ho.